Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the Educational Law Podcast. My name is Lauren Howard, and today we'll be diving into the case of Miss Turner and the Nebo School District in Spanish Fork, Utah. For some background, Miss Turner has been working for the district for over 30 years. She has a wonderful record of service, but she might be facing some backlash as she had a verbal outburst towards her principal and then sent an email to him with some concerns regarding a promotion of her fellow colleague. This incident has sparked discussions about potential disciplinary actions toward Miss Turner. We believe that Ms. Turner should not be fired and is entitled to a fair chance at advancing her career. In this discussion, it is crucial to consider her extensive, unblemished record and the context of the situation before coming to a disciplinary action. The Nebo School District Employee Handbook specifies that disciplinary actions, including termination, require good and sufficient cause and must follow due process. According to Utah Code Title 53G, Chapter 11, Section 512 and 514, any termination must be preceded by documented deficiencies and a plan of assistance for the educator. Ms. Turner's long-standing record indicates that she is a competent teacher and her actions are not that of termination, especially if they were not disruptive or insubordinate. Given this situation, a possible consequence could turn into a formal warning or a mandatory professional development. The district is likely to consider the severity of the behavior and any mitigating circumstances before deciding on the appropriate course of action. Turning to the hiring process for this promotion of supervisor in the English department, there's an allegation that Mr. Jones, who was selected over Mrs. Turner, had personal connections with the superintendent. This raises ethical concerns about bias and favoritism. Ethical hiring practices require that it be merit-based, free from personal influences. If this is proven, favoritism could violate the principles of fair hiring and damage public trust within the Nebo School District. If these allegations hold, the district could also face challenges of not adhering to equitable hiring practices as well. The liability underscores the importance of maintaining transparency and fairness when hiring. Ms. Turner might consider legal action if she can demonstrate bias or unfair hiring practices. Some relevant legal precedents can include the Cleveland Board of Education versus Loudermill case. This highlights the requirement for due process before termination, including a notice and the opportunity to respond. This case could be relevant if Ms. Turner believes that her due process rights were violated. Another case could be Pickering versus Board of Education. This case indicates a balance between a public employee's right to raise matters of public concern and protecting that speech versus the employer's interest in workplace efficiency. If Ms. Turner's email is considered protected speech, this case could support her position. One last case that could help is the McDonnell Douglas Corporation versus Green, and this case provides a framework for discrimination, which could be pertinent if Ms. Turner believes she faced unfair hiring practices. The Nebo School District Employee Handbook outlines actions like violation of district policy, conduct harmful to the district, or insubordination, all as potential grounds for termination. While Ms. Turner's actions might seem unprofessional, termination seems excessive unless deemed significantly disruptive. Any disciplinary actions must follow due process, allowing Ms. Turner to respond and appeal through a grievance process. In the Utah Code, it again ensures that all termination must be justified with documentation and due process. If the district, for some reason, bypassed these requirements, Ms. Turner will have grounds for legal action. Alleged personal ties between Mr. Jones and the superintendent suggest personal bias. Ethical hiring requires impartiality, focusing on merit, not personal relationships. And despite unanimous top rankings for Miss Turner as the next candidate of the supervisor position, Mr. Jones was selected, and this indicates a lack of transparency and fairness. If this bias can be proven, the district could face legal challenges violating fair hiring principles. While no explicit discrimination excuse me, is mentioned, perceived unfairness could lead to claims under state or federal laws. In conclusion, Ms. Turner's impeccable record and the context of her hiring process indicates that she should not face a termination. Ethical concerns in the hiring process warrant careful examination, and Ms. Turner's rights to due process and fair consideration for promotion must be upheld. Thank you. I will take and welcome any questions.